Let's talk about Half-Life 2. Half-Life 2 is a game that came out for the PC, and it got instant critical acclaim for its gameplay mechanics, its really good cohesive storyline, really good graphics, yada yada blah blah blah. But I want to talk about something else today. Something else that's been troubling me for a really long time, and I haven't been able to film something like this because I don't have a camera. But now, since I do, I can tell you about this. Breakdown. This game is really weird in a sense because it's, I guess, rips off Half-Life 2. You may be wondering, well, how can a game rip off Half-Life 2? Well, it has really weird parallels to Half-Life 2. It claims on the back of the CD that it's a military science fiction, sort of like, Half-Life 2. You get to fight helicopters and interstellar beings. I mean, you get to fight those in Half-Life 2, but in these, you sort of in and out, sort of, you get to fight those. The game's entirely first person, just like Half-Life 2. There's no sections where there's cutscenes or nothing like that. It's entirely first person. That and the levels, there's no, levels. Not in the sense, like Half-Life 2, it has one cohesive level, but the whole entire game is sort of split up into little pieces of checkpoints. And there's time traveling in the game. Like in Half-Life 2, you have a little bit of thingy at the middle of the game where you have to go through a portal and you travel a week into the future or some bullshit like that. But this one has you travel 15 years into the future at the end of the game. Like, okay. At the end of the game, actually not even in the end, in the middle-ish of the game, there's a citadel palace that you go up, sort of like Half-Life 2. It's really weird. That and you get to drive vehicles. But it's sort of, not really there. It's just, you get to drive one vehicle at the end of the game. And I can't say this enough, but in the game, you both have partners named Alex. Yeah, it's really fucking weird. When you first play the game, you don't realize the little sort of subtleties of the game. You're just playing this game and you're like, oh, this part is kind of cool, this part's kind of cool. But the more and more I notice it, the more and more I needed to talk about something like this. Now you may be asking yourself, well, how can a game like Breakdown rip off Half-Life 2? Well, I read into it more and more and more. This game came out before Half-Life 2. So, who's ripping off who? I mean, it's really fucking weird. I couldn't tell you. It's just really, really weird. Now, the game itself is alright, It's got decent graphics. It's got a really weird storyline. It's just kind of weird-ish. I mean, the only thing that's bad about it is that it's got these game mechanics that are kind of fucked up. It just could have been way better. I'd probably make a video about filming it and stuff like that, but maybe in the future if I have time. Another weird thing, just a little nitpick I guess, this game was made by Namco. You may be thinking, what's wrong with Namco? Well, Namco made the Dead to Rights series. It made Dig Dug. They made Pac-Man, the original Pac-Man. I don't know, it just blows my mind, I guess, that a game that comes out that rips off Half-Life is the same company that made Pac-Man and Dig Dug. It's just really weird. But that made me come to thinking, what other obscure games out there that no one really knows about are ripping off vastly superior, vastly good other games? I mean, we all know, the spiritual successor games System Shock to BioShock, but I mean that's the same company doing the same thing, or Marathon with Halo. It's sort of weird. It just makes me think what other games out there are ripping off games like this? What other games are Breakdown where we don't know about them but they're ripping off games? I don't know. That's all I got to say. I'm done ranting, so peace out, I guess.